Pantomime, Britain's single most bizarre contribution to world culture. A tradition that, even in the face of massive competition from more sophisticated forms of entertainment, continues to thrive. Some people love it.
Pantomime is an extraordinary phenomenon. It's a phenomenal phenomenon.
Some hate it.
I've never had colonic irrigation, but I know I would rather do that than have a pantomime.
But it seems we just can't get enough of it. We'll be flocking to over 200 pantos this Christmas, starring him as a genie, her as a queen, not to mention him, and her, and him, there's him, her, oh, remember those two?
Now listen to me, right? You've got me skinned. Never mind your skin. There's a very important person here tonight, and they might think you're trying to ruin the show, right?
I'm not bothered what Jason Donovan thinks.
So why does Panto still put over 2 million bums on seats every year? And just what is the peculiar appeal of watching a collection of ex-Page 3 girls, timeless sitcom stars, retired sportsmen, and glove puppets perform in well-worn fairy tales? Today, Panto is riding high largely thanks to a new legion of stars, the C-list celebs.
Move yourself, move yourself!
Mirror, mirror, on the wall.
It's December 2003, and Panto Virgin Anne Diamond is this year's big box office draw in Stoke. And today, she's off around the town drumming up business for the show with her co-star, former Coronation Street actor Ken Morley.
But they're all looking at us, they can't see me.
Greetings, greetings. I've got the Queen in here. I've got Anne Diamond in here.
Oh, shut up. Hello, it's 6:25.
Back in the 80s, 3 million of us woke up with Anne Diamond every morning.
To all the other Panto stars. Belfast's new victim.
But amazingly, the Panto call never came.
Right, why are there only 4 dwarfs around you? What's happened to the other 3? Are they working to rule or something?
Well, this is an Irish production, actually.
I love it.
With the demise of TVAM, Anne disappeared from our living rooms, only to re-emerge in widescreen format on last summer's Celebrity Big Brother.
That's what we're doing, don't you?
What?
We're the 2 old biddies.
Talking about
old music and washing up. To a certain extent, yes, you could say, oh, well, she's got to a certain stage in her career where maybe she's doing more resting than working. On the other hand, you could say, you know, it's a terrific acknowledgement of who you are and the fact that people know who you are and that your name on the poster will mean something. I choose to believe the latter.
Hold on, Chambers.
Now, 18 months later and several stone lighter, she has Panto bosses fighting for her services. And they know she's big box office.
It's not quite the same as yours.
You just want to say, how big is Anne Diamond's bomb? And that's what women are going along to say. And blokes, some blokes quite fancy her.
But Anne's got a lot to live up to. Last year, the biggest celebrity drop-ins were in Guildford. They'd already achieved huge notoriety, so casting was a breeze.
I'm stunned and devastated by the jury's verdict today.
Well, the king is impoverished, he's lost all his money. The fairy is bossy. She tells everyone what to do and she bosses the king around. And we both thought of Neil and Christine Hamilton.
In the land of Merrydale, a place where joy was unconfined, its King Neil, handsome, witty and kind.
And ever open to money-spinning offers, the couple leapt at the chance.
We never had the slightest hesitation in accepting it. We certainly don't regard it as tainting with the Panto brush. We're very, very proud to have been part of a great British tradition. And we're not has-been actors, we never have been actors.
Neil.
We were very aware that we might have been regarded as drop-ins. Indeed, there was some correspondence in The Stage magazine which basically said, oh my goodness, you know, has pantomime really sunk to this? You know, drop-ins are bad enough, but my God, we've got the Hamiltons this time.
But a few actor feathers were definitely ruffled.
It was a bit of a shock. I was then told that they would be a cough and a spit and nothing to do with the story, which turned out to be completely untrue. They were both playing very large parts.
Hello, Jack, it's me, Batlax, I'm back. I'll help you thwart the giant's attack.
One could sense, as they became more popular with audiences, one could sense some, not all, but some members of the company feeling very threatened. And so there was, if you like, a certain amount of gentle, but it was there, animosity.
I'm sure that they will admit to this, so it's not meant in any way cruelly, that they found out that they'd bitten off more than they could chew.
Well, Rula was quite frank about it. She said, quite openly, that I don't really approve of celebrity drop-ins. Well, she had to do a pantomime with Mr. Blobby previously, so at least the Hamiltons was a step up on that.
If you say so, darling.
And they proved that they may well have a very long life in Panto ahead of them.
The Daily Telegraph said they were a revelation. The box office was jammed. Their every appearance on stage was greeted with cheers.
Fortunately, we were able to confound the critics. And they hadn't, at the end, to admit that we'd been misjudged.
But you don't actually have to be any good at Panto to be a success.
With Snow White out of the way, I'm once again the fairest in the land.
Jade Goody became Panto hot property after her star turn in Big Brother.
East Anglia.
East Anglia? That's abroad. Is there not a place called East Anglia abroad?
Jade, have you been taking stupid pills again?
And her performances in Panto were even more revealing.
A plan, we need a plan.
It was Car Crash Panto. It was her forgetting lines, coming in at the wrong time, and just, it's all, can you imagine that poor girl?
Caviar and cigarettes, well versed in etiquette, extraordinarily nice.
It was like bear baiting. It was like people went to laugh at her making mistakes. I still think that's entertaining.
Now I'm going to get myself ready for the prince. I want you to better look in the pages.
She did actually put her heart and soul in it. Not only did she do well, the box office went through the roof, and it's the most money we've ever made at the Woodville Halls in Gravesend ever. And so she was a good asset.
And the reason why Anne Diamond, the Hamiltons and Jade have all become Panto hot property is down to just one man. In 1989, Frank Bruno became the first ever can't sing, can't act, can't dance celebrity to take Panto by storm. He was an instant hit, ushering in a whole new fashion for celebrity drop-ins, as Panto bosses decided to splash the cash on anyone famous to keep Panto alive.
When Frank Bruno got the call, would you like to be in pantomime, his first word was yes. It was as simple as that. Frank knew that pantomime was going to suit him and he would suit pantomime. And it was a love affair from day one.
I do apologise.
And nowadays, Frank is more famous for his pantomime punch than his pugilistic prowess.
Well, Sydney Potter started like it.
You get a buzz from the pantomime crowd, but not as boxing's a different, completely buzz. You know, I mean, if you get your lines, at least you don't get a punch in the head or something like that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You will.
No comparison, you know what I mean, to boxing and pantomime.
Something magical happened when Frank Bruno did his first panto, because the country loves the man, and he is just a fantastic personality. And all he has to do is, and people are laughing, and they love him.
It wouldn't have worked if he'd just been Frank Bruno, former world champion, famous boxer. It would have been embarrassing, but I happen to think that it's his personality, almost more than his celebrity, that works for him in pantomime. Whatever jokes people make about Frank, it works.
And this very Christmas, despite his well-publicised problems, Frank is treading the Panto boards once again.
Sorry, you see, the problem is I'm looking for something.
Well, you won't find it in here, mate.
No, you possess the secret knowledge that I crave.
That's right. This week's lottery numbers will be...
No!
I mean, who wants to go and see some bod fresh out of drama school when you can go and see Frank Bruno in a frock?
I would travel anywhere to see Big Frank in panto, because it's funny. The audience love him, the mums and dads love him, the kids know he's a sweet fella, and he's just, you know, he's making money, he's making people laugh, and he's enjoying it.
It's good fun, you know. I mean, learning your lines and you work with good people, and it's good experience, you know. Good experience.
Good working with Sophie.
Steady on, girl. Steady on, Tiger. No, it's good fun.
People like us who've enjoyed doing pantomime, the celebrity drop-ins, have a lot to thank dear old Frank Bruno for. And he showed all the pantomime companies that this could be done. So thanks, Frank. We are very lucky beneficiaries of you paving the way.
Well, maybe we should try boxing next.
But stunt casting doesn't always lead to such a happy ending.
I'd started as a journalist. I never was one of your Fame Academy or Pop Idol people who was desperate to pursue fame at any price. And the idea of plonking on and going, oh, yes, you did, oh, no, you didn't, was really not my idea of something delightful to do. However, needs must, you know, things change. And eventually I was grateful for the money, quite frankly. I did actually think I would enjoy it. I thought it'd be a bit like being in the school play, you know. I thought all this backstage fun and camaraderie and makeup, and I don't know what the heck I was on when I thought that. It's just unbelievably tedious, turgid, and mind-numbingly boring. And there were dozens and dozens of shows. We did 2 shows a day for it felt like about 10 years. It was just on, and I'd plonk on and plonk off, and they'd make some gag about Big Brother, and then I'd plonk in and plonk out, and I had to sing a song about a new world.
I don't think she was terribly good because I don't think she was directed enough. She wasn't helped enough. It was actually the theatre's idea she should do it. They desperately wanted her.
It was absolutely horrific. Everybody was in some stage of psychological meltdown in each dressing room. And the whole thing was populated by little children from the local dance academy who would kind of prance in and prance out, just as some terrible kind of emotional decay was going on in one of the dressing rooms. And then everybody would kind of marshal their ranks and step off and sing some sprightly number and then come back again. So I just really like the contrast between the utter misery backstage and the jollity on stage.
So it's safe to say Vanessa won't be doing Panto again this year. But is her producer gutted?
I'm searching for the word here.
Vanessa may pour scorn, but for Anne Diamond, this could be the start of a long and lucrative career in the Panto set.
I'm the queen of mean, the babe of badness. Snow White is doomed to scrubbing grime. I'll stay queen, and the prince is mine.
I think I'll be all right. People in Stoke, I know I'll be all right. But no, I think I'll be okay. But how okay, I don't know. But you do have to throw yourself into it.
But there's more to a hit Panto than some cute celebrity bookings. Stand by for the real stars of the Panto set after the break. Once upon a time, people would flock to live variety shows all year round. But then along came the Wicked Witch of television and killed off the whole variety theatre tradition, all except for the traditional Christmas offering. Indeed, far from killing off the Panto, TV has proved to be its lifeblood, offering up its biggest stars.
Can't a fairy make a small boob now and then? Have you never seen a fairy before?
One such as you I've never seen. If you're the fairy, I'm the queen.
Yes, there's many a true word spoken in jest.
So then, who are the hottest comedians in Panto this year? Johnny Vegas, perhaps? Or maybe Frank Skinner? What about Eddie Izzard? No, Panto has secured the biggest comics of the year. Unfortunately, the year in question is 1980.
I turned down the role of that French fella with the big nose in that French film. Do you know, Tommy?
Yeah, he means Cyrano.
Yeah, that's him. They give it to a scruffy French fella. Gerard Doggypoo.
Depardieu. Maybe a lot of the newer comics, if you like, possibly think it's a little bit beneath them. No, you know, that's old-fashioned. I'm not saying beneath them because they can't do it. I'm talking about they think it's old-fashioned. It's within television. If you mention variety, ooh, that's old-fashioned. Laughter's laughter. Doesn't matter how old it is. You can be 90 going on stage and getting laughs, like Frank Carson. But what I'm saying is laughter is laughter.
Mr. Swede!
Yes?
You look through your telescope, please, and tell me what do you see?
Okay. I see hundreds of people, but don't worry, they're miles away.
Wrong end, Smee. What do you see?
Story of my life. Our longevity is because we're like salt and pepper. We're just like daddy's sauce or whatever, been around that long. Do you understand what I mean? So you just
What
become
about
posh.
HP?
I'm talking.
And Cannon and Ball aren't the only old comics. Also joining them in the Panto set are a whole host of others.
Those kind of comedians, incredibly to the writers of some TV columns, are huge stars still. And you go to Wolverhampton and Cannon and Ball will play to 140,000 people in Wolverhampton over 10 weeks. They can fill Wembley Stadium 1.5 times.
I come from the baby boomer generation, which is a generation absolutely locked in total nostalgia. We look back fondly on almost anything. We can't remember how awful it was at the time.
They're all sat there looking at you saying, why did he leave the Nolan sisters?
So I think if you just say the words Cannon and Ball or Little and Large, instead of puking as we probably should, we just think, oh God, fantastic. Let's take the entire family, let's dig out Grandma, exhume Grandpa, and slap along a whole lot of unwilling children who would really much rather be watching Nickelodeon and force them to sit through a Panto, starring these legendary greats who transformed my childhood into a child of utter bliss.
Hello? I went to a fancy dress party once. I took all my clothes off, walked in backwards and said, I've come as a hot cross bun.
Television sitcoms have also given Panto characters tailor-made for the stage, the great sitcom stars. But you won't be seeing Ricky Gervais as Buttons or Steve Coogan as Aladdin. No, the biggest TV sitcom star in Panto this Christmas is John Inman,
I'm free.
star of the iconic 70s sitcom Are You Being Served?
Just had a disaster with my braces. I stooped to conquer an inside leg. There was a loud ping, and I had to finish off the customer with my hands in my pocket. I am totally delighted with John. I'm free.
Where's Mr. Humphreys? Is he free?
I'm free. And ice cream, and it's all very nice.
When something really kicks into the nation's mind and sticks in its consciousness like a catchphrase, then as soon as you hear it, you're sharing it with your family, you share it with everyone in the theatre, and it brings back all your... I mean, I still remember two things. My first kiss in an East London youth club, and the first time I heard John Inman, as probably the first openly gay man on television, saying, I'm free.
Mr. Granger's often shown me how to brim, steam, and shape, but I get the wrist action wrong. Every time I do it, it goes limp.
Your wrist or the brim?
And he's not the only one basking in Grace Brothers' glory.
If a little recognition and a reminder of the name and the characters from programs that you've been in jogs somebody's memory and makes them say, oh gosh, oh I remember that, I think, oh I'd like to go and see that because I liked him in that, or her, whatever it might be. If that puts another couple of bums on a seat, that's fine.
And now, 30 years later, Inman is still the Panto King. But why do we still want to hear those two simple words?
Now, what's my first line? I'm free. Come along, Jonathan, get yourself on there.
I think people love nostalgia in this country. It's not just in Panto that you get to see your old stars, but you've got UK Gold, you've got all the repeats on terrestrial, you've got loads of shows now which are retrospectives or list shows of the best moments ever or the best characters ever.
Panto is desperate for people who've done telly. It doesn't matter if it was in the Boer War. It doesn't matter if it's when there were ration books. If you've been on telly, they can put you on the poster and write Paul Ross, who was on telly once in 1937. Anne Diamond was on telly regularly 10 years ago, and we can work forever. Only for 3 weeks a year, but you can do Panto forever.
But the Panto set's not just a resting home for the TV stars of the 70s. There's another gang which come out of an altogether more modern TV phenomenon. Soap stars are now Panto gold, but the key is to get them before they're massive.
Barbara Windsor told me that there was a young girl in EastEnders that was coming up and was going to be sensationally big by Christmas, but nobody had heard of her at this point back in March. See, Barbara Windsor had read the script, so she knew that Martine McCutcheon was going to be, by Christmas, the biggest star on British telly. I tried to book her, and word got out, and her price went from, I think I was going to get her for £750 a week. In the end, it went way, way, way high, £7,500 a week, something like that.
Soap stars who do pantomime should be on Crime Watch, because it is a bank raid. They go in with a sawn off and they take wadges of, they're getting 15, 20k a week. They do a lot of shows, they work hard, but it's money for nothing, and the chicks are free.
Although it's a quintessentially British tradition, Panto's first soap star invasion came from down under in the early 90s.
The bottom line is that every so often a new phenomenon hits the screens or hits our conscious, and we go for it. And the Australian thing was certainly the shot in the arm that pantomime needed at that time.
And one star in particular had them weeping, wailing and practically wetting their knickers. Aussie super hunk Daniel McPherson had arrived, allegedly being paid more of our English pounds than any other panto star in history.
He was like a god. I mean, he was wonderful. It was just audiences adored him. He was. It was rumoured that he was being paid £50,000 a week. One of the tabloids printed that story, and audiences went up even higher as a result, because they thought, well, if he's worth £50,000 a week, then we must go and see him.
Pound would pay $2.5, $3 Australian dollars. So it was great. You come over, do a panto, get treated like a rock star, go back and buy a house. It was great.
Is that yours? Oh, this is a Rolls Canardly. Oh, what? No Rolls Canardly. It rolls down a hill at Canardly, get up the other side.
He reckoned it was a real buzz. He compared Neighbours to doing Panto, and how sad is this? Neighbours was like a truck and Panto was like a Ferrari, and it was the difference between driving both, and you just think, you need to get out more, mate.
But today, it's definitely the British soap stars who are the real pull for panto, especially EastEnders. While Dirty Den is starring in Belfast this Christmas, the rest of the current EastEnders cast are forbidden from doing panto, which means they'll have to wait till their characters snuff it before the panto set beckons.
People like Steve McFadden who leave EastEnders for a year to broaden his acting repertoire, and then he turns up as Captain Hook. Another villain. Am I missing something here?
Oh, it's Betty Boop. She said leave her alone.
EastEnders' latest feisty character, Cat Slater, is surely guaranteed top billing as a venomous villain in panto.
And I just... You know where to come back when you want some more! You show me the way to your love. Your love.
Dean Gaffney is this year's big soap star in panto. Why? Because in Britain's favourite soap, he played a spotty youth unable to pull. Bit like his character Aladdin.
When the public see your name, they automatically see the character. They don't really care if Dean Gaffney's in Croydon, they care that Robbie's in Croydon. You know, I'll certainly be bringing in Robbie lines and in-jokes about Wellard into the pantomime because that's what they want to hear.
For as long as we're giving and we never pretend.
I haven't heard any wicked whispers or any rumours from the panto world, but I'm sure he'll be trying to, you know, get his hands on all the all the girlies down there, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of stories to come out of that.
So, is it Sean Williamson or Barry in pantomime this year?
In this pantomime, I am playing a pastiche of Barry from EastEnders. That could last another 10 years. That could last another 5 years. It could last until I get another part, or I'm lucky enough to get another part, that is as big as Barry. But I don't think there's anything wrong with, once a year, going back and playing near to that character to ensure that there's a good box office at the pantomime and that you get paid a good wage.
Yeah, they do bill me sometimes, you know, Pete Beale of EastEnders. I think they just think I'm going to turn up and see Ian's son, because there's another little Pete Beale in there, you know, and this whole Winkley comes on. Yeah, people, if they want to put Pete Beale under my name and it gets me a job. Me and Captain say, well done.
So TV has been great for the Panto business, but let's face it, Panto has hardly returned the favour. The TV Pantos of the 70s and 80s were big on special effects, but low on just about everything else.
You rub the magic ring, and I am the genie of the ring.
Allah be praised, black magic.
Charman, what do you mean black magic? She.
Pantomime doesn't work on television. It's a live show, for goodness sake. It can't work on television. You can get a glimpse of it. You had to be there. You had to get that aroma of orange peel and wet knickers. It's the only way. Yes, you've got to breathe it in, and you know where you're in a pantomime.
Take me to Egypt, quick as our flash.
Take me to Egypt, quick as our flash.
I wiped most of it out of my mind because it was so ridiculous. It was fantasy time. It was a time for fun, and the audience loved it.
And political correctness went out of the window.
I look at certain items that I did say on Blue Peter, and they were outrageous in there. I mean, it was like, oh, well, put Sarah in any outfit we can put her in that does a lot of exposing, a lot of flesh on show.
Oh, it's all right, sweetheart. I am the genie of the ring. That sort of stereotypical character wouldn't actually take place today. In those days, John Craven played a character. He was actually asked to dress up as a Chinaman.
May you be Wutai, Shenga, Gang Hayo, Bishenga.
I do remember television pantos. I remember the Cracker Jack panto in which they used to sing the hit pop song of the day, dressed in doublet and hose. That was pretty agonising.
Well, if he's a real gasman, what's he doing dressed up as a can of mule?
So the Cracker Jack pantomime, people sort of remember, and they think, oh, I suppose that's what pantomime's still like, because they haven't been and seen.
It's a good rub.
Strangely, it's the bizarre world of TV panto that has attracted some of today's biggest stars.
I am the genie of the lamp. Oh, look at that throne.
They've asked me would I do one, and I said no, because it just doesn't work.
Genie, I want you to magic me up a great big casket of jewels and, oh, I don't know, 5 melons.
Certainly, sir. How do you like your melons?
Oh, I'm really big and firm and purple.
Consider it done.
Pantomime only works if you get your audience involved. The audience can't get involved in the television because there's cameras between you and the audience.
Do you want to get married right away?
Yes!
Well, why not? Let's have a party!
On telly, I don't know why they don't work. Oh, I do know why they don't work, because they're rubbish.
So how long can the traditions of panto survive under the 21st century celebrity onslaught? TV has been feeding panto for the last 30 years, and the celebrities it's thrown up have definitely put bums on seats. But can the classic variety routines at the heart of panto really survive in the 21st century? Take the problem with the dame. Hairy, leery, and sometimes rather scary, he has been a crucial ingredient of panto for nearly 200 years.
We're on a point that it's ridiculous.
And amongst dames, Les Dawson reigned
Between
supreme.
you and I have had a rotten experience. I was coming from the doctor's last week, and I stopped near the canal for an open sandwich and a fig Newton. And I was sexually molested by an idiot.
Well, how did you know it was an idiot?
I had to show him what to do.
Les Dawson was an amazing dame because he was both clearly a man in a frock and he also was the woman over the garden gate. And he was funny.
I heard that you were having Bert's mother for dinner.
It was a change from Turkey.
He used to go on without underwear, and he used to flash his dangly bits to us on stage, which, I mean, it is outrageous.
Couldn't afford a turkey this year, you know. Our Bert gave the budget chest expanders.
But can the classic music hall dame really wow them in the 21st century?
Whose grandmother looks like Les Dawson used to. Rollers in his hair, this funny old penny, teeth, red lips on their half-moon spectacles. Everyone's grandma looks like Joan Collins now. And so you can't have the famous old dame with a bun and knitting needles through it. You've got to have something new and contemporary. And you've got to have a new contemporary actor perform that.
One person who's come up with a radical reinterpretation of a man in a dress is Lily Savage.
You really have to say your prayers when you're running down the stairs in a pair of size 8 court shoes made of glass. The reason that I'm running is because Prince Charming is a woman. Thank God I never even tried to make a pass.
I think Paul O'Grady, Lily Savage, is vital to the future of Panto because he is so sharp and fast and funny. He's really, couldn't be more cred. You know, everybody knows how clever he is, but he obviously loves Panto, so he brings that real wit and sparkle and charisma to it. He gives Panto the kiss of life. It's a weird shade of lipstick, but it's the kiss of life.
Well, I'm sure that Sir Robert's up to his tricks again.
Oh, what tricks?
Well, I don't.
But if the tradition of ugly men playing women is dying, then having leggy women playing dashing princes is even more of a challenge.
Well, he was...
Marion, you must learn to relax. Come on, let's see that lovely smile of yours. Come on. When I'm opposite your smile, then I'm opposite a rainbow.
The tradition dates back 200 years when seeing any part of a woman's flesh on stage was strictly taboo. But the canny panto producers got round the problem by casting leggy women in thigh boots as their men. Enter the drooling hordes.
Well, I know one fellow who said that his first sexual experience, his first experience of sexual arousal, was when he was about 4 years old at the London Palladium, and it was looking at the principal boy's legs.
To be able to make the kids believe that you are a boy when you are a woman with a shape and just showing lots of legs for the pleasure of the fathers and the grandfathers. It's a tradition, but it's a big responsibility.
If we could get rid of that giant, we could be happy all the time.
But once again, the tradition is fighting against the 21st century.
I do think the days of a glamorous girlie playing the principal boy, showing her legs off and giving a little chaste kiss on the cheek to another girl who's playing the girl, I think those days are almost over. It's just kind of silly now and for no purpose. It's not funny. It's not like a bloke dressed as the pantomime band. That's funny. That's good. That's what we need. Keep that going. You don't any longer want to see Lulu dressed as Snow White kissing Cilla Black, who's dressed as Aladdin, unless you're a really sick and twisted individual.
The purists very often have a dig at me because I don't approve of girls playing boys anymore. It's very hard to explain to children in this day and age when they see two girls on stage kissing each other that it isn't a scene from Brookside. And every single soap opera is carrying a scene with two girls getting it on.
So maybe it's just a case of Panto embracing the new sexual climate, which, after all, may give it all sorts of interesting areas to explore.
How did you get here? Well, you must have rubbed the lump, mustn't you? Sometimes we find it doesn't take much of a rub. Sometimes just the merest touch and then whoosh.
But the traditionalists are still not impressed.
Julie and Claire, that was so overtly gay, and well, I mean, I'm sure they packed it out, but a lot of parents didn't want to take their children to it.
I don't think it's particularly nice to go to a pantomime where you see a camp figure being drawn on by 4 or 5 men in a supposed coach or whatever, and he goes to the front of the stage and says, oh, it's wonderful to be pulled on by 6 handsome men, but I'd sooner be pulled off. Well, sorry, but that really just is, that's not children's entertainment.
But it's not just the cross-dressing men and women who face problems. The very future of Britain's favourite panto may be under threat due to a shortage of 7 crucial performers, the dwarves.
I've seen a show where you have one dwarf walk on. He came on and sang a song and then shouted off the side of the stage, "Hey, you lot stay there, I'll go home." And he just walked off stage, pretending these other 6 guys were in the mine somewhere. Then another show I saw with one guy, he came on with a trolley pulling 6 cardboard cutouts of dwarves.
And if dwarf numbers are declining, it's certainly not for lack of trying.
The dwarfs have a phenomenal reputation as being sex-obsessed.
Now, well, a chap like you, excuse me, have you ever had sex with a dwarf? And they used to think about it. No, I haven't had sex with a dwarf, and what it's like. You know, and of course the dwarf would say,
Ah, well, you see, it's very different positions, you see. There's dwarf position number 1, dwarf position number... What is this position? Of course, they go with the dwarf to try out this position, but there's nothing at all. There's nothing different at all.
Quite often they'd come in the morning with all love bites all over their necks where they'd been clubbing the night before. So they're quite randy.
But one area of Panto which is definitely flourishing is the casting of the Muppets, Puppets and Superheroes of kids' TV. In Durham this year, there's never been a pair of bigger Panto stars than these two.
Hello, Cinderella. Can we be of any assistance?
Oh, who are you?
But the boys and girls know who we are.
One of the interesting phenomena that's sort of happened over the years is that costume characters have entered pantomime. One of the reasons might be that we're running out of celebrities to put in. But the other reason is that costume characters or smaller puppet characters are very endearing. So booking a big star that is purely an adult star, you know, you've got to have something else on that bill that means something.
The tradition of using inanimate objects in Panto has been going on for years, but today the TV characters promoted and marketed on DVD, soap powder and toilet paper adverts are more popular than their human co-stars.
Mr. Blobby was not just any old inanimate object. Mr. Blobby became a huge star on television, and I am embarrassed to say that he was the biggest star of the pantomime.
They have a whole list of rules. Contract comes with him. He can't be photographed. They can only have a proper trained Mr. Blobby person inside. You can't just put a dancer in it or something. You know, they have to work through the stage, everything. It's all secret.
The audience went berserk whenever Mr. Blobby was on stage. Totally berserk. And I have to say that, you know, there were times during the panto when you used to think, why does one bother knocking one's pipe out when you could just put Mr. Blobby on stage for an hour and the audience would go bananas?
It must be depressing if you're a trained actor, if you've been in TV sitcoms, if you're a big name, but you're second on the bill to a load of people dressed as bananas in pyjamas, or a slightly overweight bloke in a Spider-Man costume. That must hurt. But that's part of Panto. You've got to take the pain along with the applause.
And the great thing about these TV characters is that they never die. They just do more and more panto. And former soap star Sophie Lawrence is just the latest in a long line of performers to put her hand up sooty.
Very loud. All the mums and dads and the teachers, they won't say hello. Mine says teachers wave at Sooty, say hello, Sooty. That was fantastic. Now, Puffy Cheeks, get into bed. Come on.
What's that, Sooty? Sooty says he never gets old because he's magic. And all he needs to do is just have a little bit of a wash and brush up your fur, don't you? And then you're ready for another year. What else? But you really, really enjoy it, and he has lots of lines to learn. Lots of lines to learn.
It's quite difficult working with Sooty because obviously Sooty doesn't speak. So when you get your script, you kind of don't mark off Sooty's lines because you think, oh, you know, that's Sooty. But it isn't Sooty, it's you, because you have to say, what was that, Sooty? Oh, Snow White's gone to the dwarf's cottage and the prince is looking for it, right? Oh, and you know, so you have to remember double of everything.
Well, you can't say puppetry. Oh, sorry. He's real.
Oh, okay.
Whatever the future may hold for cross-dressers, dwarves and puppets, one thing that's crucial for the future of pantomime is the classic comedy routine. Roy Hudd's been writing pantos for years, and it's always the old routines that get the biggest laughs.
I think a slapstick scene of some sort should be in every pantomime, because believe me, you can have the cleverest line in the world. It will never get a laugh like a pie up the arse gets. Believe me, you know. That is the biggest laugh you'll ever hear in the theatre. This is my Bible, this book here, you see, which has got loads of old sketches and situations and quickies and things from pantomimes, but you can always fit them into a storyline.
Russ Abbott is a master of the classic ghost gag routine.
Sir, this
must be where the apparition always appears. You will tell me if you see anything, boys and girls, won't you?
Well, the Palomine Tom O'Connor tells a story about him he was in pantomime, and he's doing what we call the ghost gag. Look out, he's behind you. So he's in there, and the kids are going raving mad. They go, he's behind you, no, that way's behind you, behind you. There's chaos in the theatre. And then suddenly in the middle of this routine, there was silence. For no reason, he said, and there was like 2 rows of a very posh boys' school at the front. And in the silence, he heard this voice say, "Don't shout anymore, Charles, the man's obviously an idiot."
You know, it's important to have routines. I mean, some of the classics that are still there are very, very funny. I mean, the Woof and Puff is something I think you can't even say that without smiling, can you? The Woof and Puff.
Oh, Mr. Jack. Really, tickle me, I'm telling you.
I've done the Woof and Puff with Danny LaRue, I'll have you know.
What is it? I get it.
I ain't got a clue out, but it's a bit wire, isn't it? They pull it round, don't they? And it goes woof and puff.
And there's nothing that brings the house down more than a middle-aged man taking his clothes off.
Less music, more jokes is my thing. Less dancing, more jokes. It should really be funny. I think, in my book, a pantomime should be funny from beginning to end.
But with so many celebrities deluging Panto, even the sacred comedy routines are under threat.
Today, there are so few specialised pantomime performers, and you do find you have to write every word down, because they're mostly actors and actresses, an awful lot of people, as we say, from soaps and celebrities, you know, come in. They don't know any of the old Panto routines or anything. You have to write it down word for word.
So can anything be done to persuade today's top comics to take Panto seriously?
Well, you can do better than that. When I come out and say hello, boys.
So what is the future for Britain's great traditional entertainment? One of its many challenges is trying to make inroads into the theatreland that is London's West End. Jim Davidson's adult version of the nation's favourite pantomime packed them in when it came to London.
Hello, children! Hello, band! Hello, my gang!
Davidson tore up the Panto rulebook and gave the punters exactly what he wanted.
Good, I was getting worried. When I stand there and do stand-up stuff, you know that 10% of the audience is going to upset and someone else should say,
Is
oh,
that
it shouldn't
all?
do this. Yeah, but it shouldn't do that. Where this, it doesn't make a statement, Cinderella. You leave your brain in the foyer and you become a child again, and it's fabulous.
Yes, I saw Jim Davidson doing Cinderella with an S. And it's really just like, you know, Panto for Reader's Wives fans. It was all sort of all tits, bums, but kind of slightly too overt. I think the problem with Jim Davidson is he more or less just says, whoa, we're going to shag now, you know, and it's too much.
Get it away from me! Get it away from me!
Who writes this shit? Oh, no, I didn't!
But some purists were horrified.
Drinking then.
When you see shows advertised as a Cinderella with an S, then you really do question what sort of values that the people who are putting those shows on have got.
I am by no means a prude. I just believe that Panto is a tradition which doesn't need crudity.
I thought Cinderella was great because, I mean, it's like kids did not go. How harmful can it be? It was actually watching an end of the pier show under the banner of a panto. Doesn't really matter, does it? Does no harm.
While Cinderella was a box office smash, Davidson's attempt to put on a traditional clean pantomime in the capital ended in financial disaster.
I never saw it, but one of my staff saw it and said it was the most outstanding pantomime
have ever seen in their lives.
The show was, before and continued afterwards, to be successful in the provinces, tremendously so. It was just wrong show in the wrong place.
So why does it fail so miserably in London?
What you notice immediately in the West End of London, there hasn't been a pantomime for many years because the homes of pantomime, they've been occupied and taken over by musicals.
I happened to see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang last week. It's a bloody pantomime. The whole thing was a pantomime, masquerading as something else. And it was beautifully done, but it was a panto. And everybody who was in the show, Gary, Victor, they've all been in pantos. And it was produced and directed like a pantomime. So, yeah, there is pantomime in the West End, but not as we would normally call it, as a fairy story type of thing.
Even Panto's top boss admits it's becoming a struggle to satisfy the punters in these days of global celebrity.
It's also difficult sometimes to work against the fact that all the entertainment shows feature clips from Hollywood movies. And so, unless you're a grade A Hollywood blockbuster, you're not a star. Haven't got Harrison Ford this year. What have you got instead? Gareth Hunt. What's wrong with that?
When I come out and say hello, boys and girls, I want you to shout out, hello, Buttons. All right, here we go.
But fear not, today's biggest comedians may be sneering now, but we'll probably be seeing them in Dorking, in drag, eventually.
Boys and girls. Oh, that's nice to hear, because I haven't got any friends at all. Don't you patronise me.
Would I ever do Panto? I probably have to say I might, because in 12 years' time I'll probably end up being Mother Cow or whatever, you know, in some ghastly thing.
I'd be the usherette or someone on the door, because I'd run screaming from doing that. But I'm sure in 5 years I'll be doing it.
So there's every sign that the celebrity safety net of Panto will be hauling in new members for many years to come. Meanwhile, it's down to the people of Stoke to judge whether Anne Diamond will be just a one-hit wonder or become a long-term member of the illustrious Panto set.
As long as I can just get through my lines, put in the odd evil laugh, and not fall off my high heels, I'm all right.
We liked Anne Diamond a lot, and she's got a great personality. She comes across to the public really well.
She'll be glamorous, so I think she'll look wonderful.
Wish me luck. Break a leg.
Birthday, my dear, is officially cancelled. No, never. I'm much more beautiful than she is, aren't I, boys and girls? I love children, boiled. I'm the queen of mean, the babe of badness. She lives! Chamber!
Really hated me. So that was good. It was really brilliant. It really was very good fun. I think I might come tomorrow.